Gregg, obviously this morning it comes down that you're stepping down from your post that you've held with the Tech Tiger football team, heading up north to an area that you're familiar with. What were some of the factors that sort of led into this decision?
You're well aware, we've talked many times when I've been at the cabin on Saturdays following games. My wife and I built that a number of years ago, and, my last kid is graduating, my daughter's graduating this year, and I'll have 3 kids in college, and so it was a time where my wife and I, about, if opportunities arose, we would look up north that, would maybe accelerate the possibility of us moving that direction. We plan to retire. It's part of the reason we built the place. And, Bill Magnuson and I went to college together and pushed against each other for a number of years as well, and have a lot of respect for him. And so the opportunity to work with him was something that was also, kind of intriguing to me. So it's more of a lifestyle change and decision, honestly, than it is anything else. I'm ready to maybe step out of that head coaching role for the rest of my life and just be an assistant coach and kind of get away from the administrative part of it and get back to just working directly with the kids and kind of focusing on that.
When you got to Tech back in the 1990s, did you ever imagine that it would take you all the way up to 2018?
Probably not. I don't know what you're thinking back when you start out, and back at that time I was kind of coming out of the college situation where I'd coached a couple years at the University of Minnesota Morrison and Mankato State as a grad assistant, and I kind of thought basketball was what I was always going to do, and I got to Tech and then, started as a girls coach and assistant football, and things changed pretty dramatically when Ron got the head job, and so that kind of moved me back in that direction. So, yeah, things change. It's not a straight path, certainly, and then when I was head boys coach and Ron was around, I kind of expected that was probably my career would end, being an OC and being a head boys basketball coach. And unfortunately, that didn't either with the situation of Ron getting ill. So, and that plays into it too. You see some of those things over time, and you got to realize that, there's other priorities that at some point you got to step back and look at.
Are there 1 or 2 memories that you'll take with you? I know you haven't had a ton of time to process this, but are there 1 or 2 games or memories that really stand out in your mind?
Well, one of my first years, and I think it's memorable not just for that, but, getting to an elite level when we were able to host a state tournament game at Clark Field against Blaine was a pretty special thing. They were kind of the dominant power at the time, and we took them right down to the wire, and it was a back-and-forth battle, and, Clark Field was packed, and it was just a very unique environment. Dave Nelson, who's a coaching legend in Minnesota. When I run into him, he's actually my wife's high school social studies teacher. He still brings that game up and says it's one of the funnest games he's ever coached in. So that's probably one, definitely. And then I suppose later on, it was a little bittersweet with not having Ron around, but in 2006 when we were able to go and play down in the Dome and take on, again, kind of one of the big boys, Eden Prairie at the time, and didn't fare so well, but got ourselves to that point. And, I think we've been competitive over the years. The high school sports ebbs and flows with the talent that you have, and also has to do with the competition level that you're going against. And, I think our kids and our coaches have always done an outstanding job of preparing themselves and playing at a pretty high level. So that's something I'm proud of. I think the program is in good shape. I know my staff is perfectly capable of running things around here without me, and I think we got some very talented kids coming back. We obviously lose some extremely talented kids. Brevin is the highest level probably player that I've ever coached. We've had a few more Division I guys, but probably not the level that you would look at in like the Big Ten.
You started to allude to it a little bit, but what do you hope your legacy is here after spending so many years as the coach? When it's all said and done, what do you want people to say about you as a coach?
Well, I don't know. I think Tech is a little unique. I don't really look at it as my program when I was here or something. It's almost like you're kind of a gatekeeper, the guardian of the program while you're in charge at Tech, and so hopefully You know, you look back at the Hall of Fame coaches that have been here, and you hope that you kind of push that, you know, kind of tradition forward, and I don't know, not tarnish the image of the program. So hopefully playing the game right and, you know, not tarnishing that image that's been built.
Is there any concern on your wife's end that you're going to have so much extra time to spend with her?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That'll be an interesting thing. We've got, you know, we've got some different things there going on. You know, she works at St. Cloud State, and so, you know, it's not like we're going to completely disappear. We've got some things to figure out yet in terms of how we're going to handle, you know, our whole personal situation with our house and different things. So, yeah, that I don't have worked out yet. It's been kind of a hectic week, and maybe that's not the wisest thing in the world, but those are some things that we're going to have to sit down and get figured out. But I don't know. She's been very supportive and said, you know, do what you think you need to do, and we'll make it work. So I guess we probably got to work on the making it work part.